All right, what's up? Daily 10, back at it again. This synchronicity involves the first two. Already it's happening. The first two Daily 10s. This is so wild. 2025 just started and it's already just like out of control synchronistically. So listen to this sequence. Also, hope you're doing well. Love you. So on New Year's Eve, I recorded that video and I was basically planning on not doing anything. And I was really looking forward to it. And I decided to smoke a little bit of weed. And it was like 11 o'clock. And then my friend Courtney messaged me and she was like, hey, like me and my friends are going to this bar. And like, let me know if you want to come. And it's literally 3 blocks away from my apartment. And so initially I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, And I was just really content being high in my apartment. And then I started dancing. I was like listening to music and dancing. And then right then, Courtney messaged me and she was like, everyone's dancing. Like, you got to come dance. Basically, the message was all about dancing and I was already dancing. And I was like, yeah, all right, you know what? Fuck it, dude. It's 3 blocks away from my apartment. I can leave immediately. Why not? So I go, and when I get to the entrance, the bouncer is there, and he's like, is it just you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm not supposed to let anyone else in, but it's New Year's, so I'll let you in. And I was like, sweet, thanks, man. And I just walked in, and I went around the bar for a little bit. And eventually I found Courtney, and she was with this group of people, and we started talking, and like it's a really good vibe in the bar, and they're all like right behind the DJ booth, which I've never actually like experienced, I feel like. But it's this group of people, and we're all hanging out, and we're dancing, and the music is really good, and it's really loud. And then at one point, Courtney and I are talking, and I say like, oh, I'm like surprised they let me in. The bouncer said that they weren't going to let anyone else in, but he let me in. And Courtney was like, oh, how'd you convince him to do that? Did you like tell him a joke? And Courtney like knows my content and stuff. And so I was like, yeah, I just told him that I got molested. And literally, as I'm about to start the phrase, I got molested, the music cuts out of the whole bar. The music ends, just hard cut out, like fucking, what do you call it when the disc, when, like the screeching stop of the music. And I don't know if like anyone really around heard, but obviously Courtney heard. And we both just started cracking up because it was just like the music cut out. And I was like, I got molested. And it was just such a funny sequence. And then we started talking about how, like, Courtney and I originally met at a bar. She came up to me and she was like, hey, like, I saw your stand-up, like the clip that you posted today. And so she had been following me on Instagram. And this is like a couple of months ago. And I reposted an old stand-up clip about my grandpa. And I hadn't posted a stand-up clip in like 2 years. And so this is just some preemptive synchronicity that was going on. So literally I posted that clip and then ran into Courtney at this bar. And she's like, I saw that you did stand-up and blah. And I was like, that's such crazy timing. And she works for like a media company called Live Nation. And after we talked and hung out and stuff, and then she was like, you should come to Live Nation and I should introduce you to some people on our comedy department, in the comedy department. So I went with her one day to this like happy hour thing, and she ended up introducing me to Dave Chappelle's booker, as well as some other really awesome people. But like, out of nowhere, from posting that stand-up clip, like she'd been following my content, but she didn't even know that I did stand-up because I hadn't posted it in forever. So literally that day, I meet her at a bar. She knows that I do stand-up. She invites me to Live Nation, and then I end up meeting Dave Chappelle's booker. And she's like this super cool lady. And by the end of it, she's like, yeah, like, let me know, like, when you have a show, like, we'll come out. And I'm like, what do you mean? That's so incredible. Okay, so our whole, like, friendship spurred and spawned out of this synchronistic stand-up sequence. So then it was just so funny for when the music cut out and it was like this emphasis on I got molested, and like she was making a joke about doing a bit to get into the club. And so we were just like and she's like totally in the space that, you know, we're all talking about here and like these synchronicities and things. So she got it right away. And then later on in the night, she introduced me to this guy named George. And we started talking, and she was like, yeah, Sebastian's a comedian. And then she kind of like went to go talk to some other people, and George and I kept talking. And he was like, dude, wait, so are you a professional comedian? And I was like, I have this thing, like whenever people kind of ask me that, where I have this habit of like batting it away, where I'm like, oh, no, not like that. Like, it's not like a full-time thing, or like what it's not like, because I'm not supporting myself fully with stand-up, it doesn't in my head seem like valid or whatever, like it doesn't count as like a full profession. And so I've just noticed this tendency when people ask me those types of things to be like swatting that away, and because I think I don't feel worthy of it yet or something. So when I started to swat it away, he was like, well, have you been paid to do stand-up? And I was like, oh yeah, many times. That's happened a lot. And he was like, dude, why are you pretending like you're not a professional comedian? And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm like, why am I, like, I think it's because I'm projecting onto other people, like the idea that, oh, if it's not like a full-time thing, then it doesn't count or something. Or if you're not supporting yourself fully from it or whatever. And so obviously it was New Year's Day now, and I was like, dude, fuck yeah, I'm not going to keep thinking about that anymore like that. Thank you for this perspective shift. And he was like, dude, probably less than like 1,000 people on earth have gotten paid to tell jokes. And I was like, oh my God, dude, you're so right. Like, that's so, why am I diminishing the reality of the situation? Because it's not up to some arbitrary standard. Like, there's no reason for me to act like I've been paid many times to do stand-up. And just hearing him phrase this, like, it just totally shifted in my brain, like, what's going on. And obviously, that's what I want. I'm going to do stand-up forever, and I want to be in at the point where I can do it whenever, wherever, and have it be sustainable and all these things. So why not embody that energy now? We know from quantum physics, manifestation, all this stuff, if you become the energy that you want to experience the life of, that's how you bring it in. And so it was just, it was these two instances of, all this stand-up stuff with Courtney and then meeting George. It was like, oh, dude, this is why I came out tonight. And just sort of following that feeling, just being like, oh, you know, she said, come dance right as I'm dancing. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm already dancing. I might as well dance 3 blocks away from where I am right now. Okay, so that's the first part of the sequence. So we're all hanging out, and then Courtney and I walk back to my place. We're going to smoke some weed, hang out. And when we get back, she sits down right here on this recliner. And when she sits down, immediately we hear this like ding. And she like grabs her ear, and she's like, oh, I think my earring just fell off. And so she starts looking around down here. And she can't find it. And then I start looking around with her, and I can't find it. And neither of us can find it. And she's like, oh man, that's so crazy. Like, that's like my favorite earring. Or she had the other one, but we were like, don't worry, it'll turn up. Like, it's all good. So we hang out for a while longer, and then she leaves. And then the next day, we're like texting like, God, that was such a fun sequence, yada, yada, yada. And she texts me and she goes, did you find my earrings? And so I had another look around and I couldn't find them. And I was like, no. And she was like, oh, we got to get like one of those metal detectors, like those people on the beach. So in Venice, which is where I live, there's these guys. I'll pop up a video right now. That I took this video yesterday when I was recording yesterday's Daily 10. And I took this video because I'm on the beach all the time, and yet I've never like looked, and I see these people all the time. So they have their metal detectors and they're like going around the beach looking for lost jewelry and stuff. And I saw them and I thought, these guys are like human seagulls. Like, and for some reason I just had that thought, and I thought it was funny. And so I recorded that. I'll see if I'll find the clip and put it in. But I recorded that while I was recording the Daily 10 yesterday. And I ended up taking it out of the Daily 10 from yesterday because my brain started coming up with like, oh no, is this like mean to the metal detector people? Like just classic, overthinking, worrying, whatever. It wasn't related to anything else I was saying. It was just like a one-off thing. So it didn't seem super significant. But I would later find out when Courtney said that, I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I was just referencing those guys earlier. And I sent her a video that I had taken of these guys on the beach looking for treasure. And then she goes, oh my God, holy shit. That's like, I was literally on the beach, like right in that area. And she had seen the guys that I had taken a video of. So we start talking back and forth, and we're like, oh my God, we were both on the beach without knowing the other person was there. And then she goes, wait a second. And she sends me a video of somebody in the water right as it's like going from like sunset into night. And she goes, wait, this wasn't you, was it? And I see the video, and it's fucking me, dude. She sent me a video that she took, and you can't even tell that it's me at all. It's not like you see my face. I'm like out in the water. But she sends me that video, and immediately I'm like, oh my God, this is me. I'll send the screen recording. I'll include the screen recording of our text exchange because it's bananas. Because then I had decided that I was going to go in the water after my run, so I wore a swimsuit. At the very end of my run, it's like already getting dark, and I set my phone up and record myself going into the water. And so I send her the video of me going into the water. And it's literally the same video that she took, just from a different perspective. So she was like a little bit off to the right. But it was dark, and we didn't realize that the other person was right there. You see what I'm talking about? So we're texting back and forth just like, oh my God, wait, what the fuck? This is so insane. How is this happening? And then we start thinking, oh shit, look at this unfolding. Like, she had a video of me on her phone in the water without realizing it was me. And I didn't know that she was there. And another cool thing about this is how it relates, because she was saying the reason she took that video is because she was looking at me and thinking, wow, that guy's awesome. Like, he's inspiring me, like, to go in the water. I want to go in the water now. Which is so funny because during the Daily 10 yesterday, I almost didn't go on the run in the first place because of hypothetical judgment. So here's a primetime example of somebody who doesn't know who I am. I mean, she does know me, but in the moment she didn't know it was me. Not thinking that I'm a douche, but she thinks that I'm cool and inspiring her, and she likes me, and it's safe and whatever. So it's just I think there's going to be a lot of this with the Daily Tens, you know, because they're going to start stringing together, and it's going to be very, oh, it's so fun, dude. I'm so glad this is happening. So the other part of this, and this is so interesting. So we're texting back and forth, just like, this is crazy. And then she FaceTimes me, and we pick up, and we're like, dude, this is like really wild, classic synchronistic shit. And we start realizing, like, because when her earring fell, we both looked around and could not make sense of where the earring had gone. Because it's not like she threw it, you know, it fell out of her ear and hit the ground. And we heard it hit the ground. And there's not like a ton of room, you know, for where it could have gone. And we were moving furniture around and shit. So what we started talking about is we're realizing, like, oh, this is why her earring fell. Because without her earring falling, she would have never said the message about the human seagull metal detector people. And we never would have realized all of this whole sequence wouldn't have happened. So her earring fell literally so that we could have all this other stuff unfold. And we knew in the moment that there was something funky about the earring. It doesn't make sense. We were like, my cat's name is Fish. We were like, did Fish eat it or something? Or like bat it around or something? What happened here? We couldn't make sense of it. And now, so while we're FaceTiming, we're talking through this, and I'm like, I bet you I can find the earring now. Because you can see the sequence that had to unfold, the thing that needed to happen. And sure enough, I went over to the couch, lifted it up, and it was right there. I still have it here. Gold hoop. And it was that knowing that this, and if I didn't find it, it's all good, you know, no problem. But it's like, if you've seen Harry Potter 3, Courtney and I were talking a lot about this. So in the third Harry Potter, there's like this whole sequence where Harry and Hermione go back in time. And Hermione's had this like stopwatch thing that allows her to basically go back in time and be in multiple places at once and things. So I think basically what was happening is, like, on some level, our higher selves or something put this earring in a place that could not be found in the moment, so that all of this other stuff could happen, so that it could bring us more deeply into the now and the knowing and these feelings of connection with the higher orchestration. And once the sequence has been delivered and you've gotten the information that you need from it, then the earring can appear. Who knows, you know? But like, it's a fun way to think about these things. And it just, oh man, it was such a epic sequence. This is just day one, you know? Day one of fucking 2025. Also, I included the screen recording of our text messages at the end of this video if you want to see what we were saying back and forth. It's a pretty wild, I mean, I covered a lot of it, but it's wild to see, like, in real time. So check it out if you'd like. It's so fun. And I know I say this every time, but I'm really grateful to have a space and a group of people that are down to chat about these kind of things. So thank you for listening. I hope you're having a great year so far. And I'm going to just keep doing this stuff, these recordings, because I really like doing it. And stuff is happening so often now that it feels like it's almost too much to keep up with. So having a daily thing is really nice. So yeah, let me know if you like this or don't. You know, either way is great. And yeah, anyway, that's all. See you tomorrow. Love you. Bye. So funny too, the people on the beach that are doing, like, they have like the metal detectors and they're like scanning the beach. They're like human seagulls searching for treasure.